Hello everyone, welcome to the Institute of Bureaucracy, where your journey to become a top tier civil servant begins. Are you ready to crack UPSC or TNPSC exams and make a real difference? You are in the right place. At the Institute of Bureaucracy, we pride ourselves on offering more than just coaching. We provide a complete learning experience. Our seasoned faculty, who are experts in their fields, bring their wealth of knowledge and practical insights to every classes. With interactive courses designed to engage and challenge you, we ensure that learning is never boring. But that's not all. We understand the importance of supportive community. That's why we built a network where you connect with fellow aspirants, share resources, and motivate each other. Our success stories speaks for themselves, with many of our students now serving as successful bureaucrats, making an impact across nation. Join us at the Institute of Bureaucracy and take first step towards your dream career. Together, let's unlock your potential and shape the future of our nation. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get started.
Hello aspiring civil servants. I am Dr. Sadasivam, a professor of history at the Institute of Bureaucracy. Welcome to our specialized coaching program for the UPSC Mains History Optional. If you are aiming to score high and crack the UPSC Mains with ease, you have come to the right place. At the Institute of Bureaucracy, we have developed a revolutionary and comprehensive strategy designed to maximize your marks in the history optional paper. Our unique approach combines in-depth content mastery, critical analysis, and strategic answer writing tailored specifically to the UPSC standards. With years of experience and a passion for teaching, I am committed to guiding you through every topic, helping you understand the nuances of history, and equipping you with tools to excel. Our program ensures that you are not just learning history, but mastering it in a way that makes the subject your strength. Join us and let's embark on this journey together with the right guidance and a robust strategy. Success is within your reach. Let's make history your stepping stone to a successful UPSC journey. History is actually one of the popular options among the aspirants of civil services here, because it's one of the promising subject which makes the candidate into the top list, and they can become a civil servant by having this option in the mains paper, because it has a lot of opportunities when you're reading a history as an option, or when we are taking up a history as an option. It gives a lot of opportunity, a lot of inputs, not only from the side of a mains examination, like options, but it gives a lot of opportunity in the GS as well as the essay writing and the interview also. So it is very indispensable one. So when you're being a civil services aspirant, so reading a history option or taking a history option, it's quite indispensable for the candidates. By and large, if you take that, the history option is actually one of the important one. If you take the top 20 candidates for every year, they're clearing. Almost 5 candidates who actually opted history as an optional paper in the mains examination. So why we want to choose a history? This is one of the prime reason for that. Then if you take the top 200 people, 1 to 200 people got into the services here. So if you look at that, almost around 100 to 200 people, if you take that, they are actually clearing the civil services examination every year. They have chosen a history as their optional paper here. Okay. So why history optional paper here? What are the opportunities when you're choosing a history as an option in the civil services examination? So what are the major opportunities for the history option here? History is actually having a more scoring potential, because if you're taking up a history as an option, so if you're scoring 290 to 320, this is a most the average score of any aspirant who actually takes up history as an mains paper. If you're having a 290 to 320 as an average score, if you're taking up here, probably it will fetch you a place in the interview at the same time in the final list of that particular year results here. So history option actually making you into the final list. At the same time, it gives a lot of opportunity to understand the social, political, economy, and the cultural background of different phases. Then, what are the other opportunities of the taking up history as an optional here? The syllabus is actually the well-defined one. At the same time, the syllabus is actually the static. Comparing the other syllabuses, the history option is actually the more static syllabus. So once you read it everything, so you can continue with that for continue with that for another 2 years or 3 years, and revising it very clearly, and you can make it very easy. If you go to the other options and all, every year it will have the changes. But when it comes for a history option, probably a minimum level 2-3 years, not have a much changes in the syllabus pattern here. So this is actually one of the main reason here. In statically, you can read the paper in a very well-versed manner here. Then the next important aspect here, comparing the other option papers, it is more non-technical in nature. So when you take it up history as an option, it is a more non-technical paper. Even the background from engineering, sciences, medicine, or any other group, or any other student coming from the diversified groups can choose a history as an option here. It makes everybody equal in the optional paper here, and you can learn it very quickly also when you're taking up a history optional here. So you can score very high when you're taking up the mains examination here. You can take it up a history option and you can score very high, even from the medicine background or engineering background or a science background here. Okay, this is actually here. Then the other aspect of history optional, other advantages of taking a history as an optional here, it actually supports us in the preliminary as well as the mains examination, an essay writing, as well as in the interview level. So in every stage, the history optional really helps. For example, if we take the GS, if we take the preliminary GS, from the year 2011 to 2023, if we take that, almost from 10 to 20 questions they used to ask from history. If you have a very good understanding from the basics, if you are choosing a history as an optional in the mains, you can cover it up these 10 to 20 questions very easily. In minimum level, they are asking at 10 questions, and maximum level, they went up to at 20. If we take the previous year question papers from 2011 to 2023, this plays a very vital part because it covers almost 10 to 20% of the preliminary question paper. So you have the greatest advantage when you are actually preparing or taking up a history as an optional paper in the mains. So it covers from the 10 to 20% of the questions. So in this, you can see that in ancient India, on an average, they are asking 3 to 5 questions. In medieval India, they are asking 2 to 3 questions. In modern India, they are asking 5 to 9 questions. Then the most important, art and culture. They are preferably asking that 2 to 5 questions here. So this is actually quite important aspect here. So if we take it up history as an optional paper in the mains examination, in the preliminary you can cover it up these things very easily, because we will start the classes with the foundations from the basics. So we'll give the basic foundation for the history optional with the NCRTs and class notes and other materials here. So this is actually quite promising why we want to choose history as an optional paper here. Then if we go to that mains level, the GS paper 1 and GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 and 4. The GS paper 1, if you take that in GS paper 1, almost 80% of the questions come from a history optional here. How it comes here? For in direct way, if you take that in direct way, you take that Indian culture, then you can see that heritage will come. Then you can see that a society related things here. In this aspect here, it's almost 9 to 13 questions usually in general studies paper 1. From this side actually come Indian culture and heritage here. It covers more from the personalities. Then you can see that the art forms, architecture, cultural practices and traditions. Then we can come for the world history, then modern Indian history. So everything actually covered in the history option here. Then we come to the society and other aspects here in the paper 1. It gives a very broader outlook as well as the micro level study of the background information of the society and other aspects. Because when you're reading a history from prehistoric times to until the contemporary times, you can take it up the background of a society and other related things. So almost 80% of this paper, when you're taking up a history as an optional paper, you can cover it up easily by reading the optional itself. Then if you go to that paper 2 GS, if you go to that paper 2 GS, almost GS2 paper, almost 60% of the syllabus we can cover. Because how we can cover a 60% of the paper here, the constitution, then polity, then you can see that IR, international relation. You can see these 3 aspects you can see here. Because for a constitution and the polity of India, it starts from the colonial period. If we take that, how the constitution making of India, then even after the making of the constitution also, the working of the Indian constitution you can identify during the contemporary time period. So when you're having this paper, when you're taking a history as an optional paper, it cover it up here. Now, apart from that, the international relation, because the world history, if you go to that world history in paper 2 history option, you can see that NATO, European Union, SAARC, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the world wars, Cold War region, everything will be covered in the IR. So you will have a very proper understanding and the proper understanding regarding the international relations here. So history option covers all these aspects here when you come for the paper 2. When we go to that paper 3, if you take it up, the paper 3 as an paper 3, it covers almost 40% of the syllabus when if you are having a history as an optional paper here. For example, the economic development. Then we can come for disaster management. Then we can come for disaster management. Then we can come for environment. Then these aspects you can cover it up very here. And one more important is also transportation. If you look at all these aspects here in the paper 3, they are covering up very clearly. When if you read very carefully the syllabus of the history option, you can cover it up all these things very easily, because economic development will not only focus on after independence, not only focus on after independence. At the same time, not only focusing on only the current trends, economic development will showcase the previous historical background also. When you're having a proper understanding on the historical background of economic development of India, this actually really helps us to identify our areas and address those areas very easily for writing an answers here. Then the disaster management and the transportation also, during a colonial period and even before that also, they have highly developed it. So how the modern technologies affected the transportation system and other things and all will be highlighted, like railways, buses, telegraph system, shipyard, shipbuilding, and everything will come under this category. Even the ecological policies and the environmental policies of the British, and even before the kings and after contemporary India, you can see that after independence in contemporary India, the economic ideologies and other things and all will be covered here. So history as an optional paper covers all these aspects in the first 3 papers of GS here. Then if you come to that the GS4, this is actually the quite promising one. GS4, ethics, integrity, and aptitude here. For in this paper, the most important aspect of this paper actually covers the public life of every individual. So history is a subject which records the social, political, economic, and cultural life of people, everyday life of people. So you can have a very interesting ideas you can generate by having a history option here. For example, the case studies and some of the important challenges the each kings actually faced during that period, and how the problem solving approach actually they used, and what are the various problems during the colonial times and even before ancient and medieval times, even during the world scenarios like Hitler, Mussolini, the other people during the World War, how the problem solving methods actually used by them, how they faced the challenges in their public life, everything actually very clearly gathered through the history option here. And the most important thing actually, the decision making process, how these people actually planned it and take up every decisions very quickly, and all those things actually will be gathered through the history option here. And the next important thing actually here, the essay writing, the most important aspect here, because one of the major component of a civil services mains examination here. So in the civil services mains examination, essay is one of the paper here. If you're having a history as an optional, it's the greatest advantage in writing a essay without a much difficulties here, because you will get, by reading this optional paper, very proper understanding and the background in articulating the essays on different topics. Because history is not only related to the public life of an individual, it showcases the social, political, economic, and cultural diversities and the practices of the people also. So you can understand better when you're having a history as an optional for writing an essay. It will be very good option for you also. And the next important thing for the interview process. Interview process is actually very important one. After clearing a mains examination, when you go to the interview, if you're having a history as an optional paper, it plays a very vital part, because creating a judgment on any topic or any issue, historical background will give a lot of inputs for that. because historical background will gives a lot of understanding for the previous issues. When you are having a proper understanding on the previous issues, you can take the decisions very wisely and easily without any difficulties here. So in this process, actually, the history option plays a very vital role here. Okay. Then why you have to choose Institute of Bureaucracy as for a history option? Because we are, for this year, we are starting an history option here. As I am was a previous aspirant, turned a mentor, and this is the first year we are taking a history option in the Institute of Bureaucracy. At the same time, I have the academic experience of more than 10 years. So we are putting together on the aspirant experience as well as the academic experience, putting together, and we are actually offering a history optional here in the Institute of Bureaucracy here. Okay. Then what kind of a strategies actually we are following here? We have a very well-planned structure for effectively managing the optional paper here. So we have thoroughly read everything, and we have very structurally planned it everything according to the convenience of aspirants here. So every day after completing the classes, we will provide the class notes. So whatever we are taking here, we will provide the class notes at the end of the classes here. So it will make you can listen everything very carefully here. At the same time, you can take the class notes with you. By having the class notes, you can just make a recollection of what happened in that particular day, and you can understand better. If you have any queries and you are coming back and discussing with us, we can give that one-on-one discussion for every aspirant here. And the next important thing actually here, it's an in-depth mastery of the syllabus here. As an academician for more than 10 years, and as a previous aspirant now turned as a mentor, so in-depth understanding or in-depth mastery of the syllabus will be done for every candidate here. So it makes the candidate have a very clear understanding and very clearly approachable one for the history option here. And the next important benefit of joining here, more emphasis on the conceptual understanding and theoretical foundation, because history is always accompanies with the concept. The conceptual clarity is very important when you're writing an answer in the mains examination. So we are making that aspect to create a environment for the conceptual understanding for everything here. And the next important thing, actually, the theoretical foundations. We are going for some topics like Alauddin Khilji, Ashoka. Then we come to that Babur, Akbar, Humayun, Sir Shah. Then we come for the colonial government. The theoretical foundation is actually very important for few topics here. So we are giving a very proper attention for the theoretical background here. Okay, in our room. Then we are giving a very special attention on the mapping techniques, because in paper 1 of history optional, the first question always come map. It covers almost 1/3 of the answers marks. If you take it up for 250 marks in the paper 1, you can take it up that almost 50 marks would be covered by 1/5 of the mark would be covered by the map. So we are having exclusive classes for a map reading, and we will provide a notes for a map also. So some of the important places will be notified, and those places would be given in the classes itself, and we will make you to mark it every day, because we'll make you to mark it every day. And the special mapping sessions, actually mapping techniques, would be teach for everyone here. And the next important thing, actually, the statement analysis. This is actually very important aspect of our coaching, because if you take the mains paper, almost 60% of the questions will come as a statement. Like they will give one statement, and they will ask, comment, critically examine, or analyze, examine. So all these aspects they will provide here. So we are having a special sessions for how to answer this kind of a statement question. Not only from here, if you go to that GS paper also, even the GS paper 1, in some of the history questions, they used to ask this kind of a statements. So we will have a special sessions for how to answer the statement related questions. If you're answering a statement related questions, probably you'll have a great opportunity for this year. Okay. Then the next important thing actually here, bridging the history optional as I explained previously, bridging the course with the GS paper, essay, and the interview. So our classes will be going on here in the Institute of Bureaucracy. Every class will be connected with the GS paper as well as the essay and the interview. So it will start from the preliminary to until the interview. If you're choosing a history option here, we will cover it up everything. It will not leave it out anything. We will not cover only as a mains point of view. We'll go with preliminary, then GS, then GS mains, then option, then essay, then interview. So it will be covered the entire civil services examination. Okay, this is another important thing. Then we have the special workshops on answer writing. For each and every individual, we'll give the proper attention. We'll give the regular testers. Regular test batches will be there. So through the regular test batches and other things, what we will do, we'll have that proper training writing practices. So we'll give that dedicated workshops for that, and we'll give the individual attention how to write answers for a short answers and the long answers and the statement questions, and everything will be given a very proper attention for each and every individual candidate here. Then the analyzing the past question papers for the past 25-30 years of question papers will be analyzed very meticulously, and we will chalk out the plans according to that individual person. So it gives us a very proper understanding on each topic, how each topic is responded, because of what kind of a questions from each topic they have asked. So all these aspects very effectively will be addressed from our coaching side here. Then for a detailed feedback and the length, the model test and the length assessments with the detailed feedbacks, as well as the model solutions should be given here. And by day the process from our side, the notes also will be given importantly. So from the side of Institute of Bureaucracy, we are starting it as history optional from this year. It will be great useful for the aspirants here. You can approach us in the office. Thank you everyone for listening.